Good morning guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I've got a bit of a predicament. It's Saturday, but it's supposed to rain really heavy in the afternoon. So the likelihood of my car boot being on is really slim, and I need stock. I've just sent another 70 items for next week to my VA, so I know I'm covered for next week, but I don't have anything for the week after. I can probably pull on a couple pairs of jeans. I'm really scraping the barrel. I think I've got a couple of Harry Potter bundle books that I could probably put together. Really, there's nowhere near enough to even do one day after next Sunday. So I've made the decision to go to the charity shops today and sack off the car boot tomorrow. So we've just come to the town of Ashby, see what we can pick up in the charity shops today. There's usually about 4 or 5 half decent ones here. I'm not expecting to pick up 70 items though, I must admit. I think that'd be a really long shot. Let's see what we do. Now, you will notice that on my channel I don't have many charity shop videos, and there is a good reason for this. Very early on I made the decision not to use charity shops as my main way of sourcing stock, and that's because I feel like the stock that I require is overpriced in these shops, and that's absolutely fine. The charity is not there to support resellers, the charity is there to make money for that given charity. Totally understand that. And there are some bargains to be had in charity shops if you are looking for your own personal use. But from a buying to resell purpose, I don't feel like the quality and the quantity is there in the charity shops, which is why I prefer wholesale and car boot sales. You'll see me flicking through these jeans now. You've seen a pair of Levi's for 15 quid. Really reasonably priced if you were buying for a personal use. I am not, so I left them behind. These were interesting. These were Callaway golf trousers. They are in a very vibrant red, which is probably why nobody else picked them up. But I did. 38, 34. And for 6 quid, I don't think you could go wrong. I think that they will probably resell for around about 15 to 20 pounds, I would have thought. The bad thing about most of the charity shops around my area is I can't get any signal, so there's no comps done at all. Firstly, because signal's rubbish. Secondly, because I use my phone to record, so... Again, just showing that you can get some really decent bits for yourself. Again, just too far out of reach for a resale value. And I think some charity shops know that as well. I think some charity shops will look at what the value is on eBay and then they will take off a percentage. I definitely know that one charity shop in Loughborough does that because I was there as they were trying to work it out. There was a Jules jacket, I think it was, and it just come in and they were trying to work out the price. And what they'd done was they'd gone onto eBay and seen what it was selling for, not even what it had sold for, and seen that some people had it up for 60, so they priced it at 40. Now, solds indicated that it was only selling for 35, but that's how some charity shops work. Again, most of my store is men's, but I do try and have a look in the women's section. This one I wasn't sure about. It was from the White Company, and the only thing I know about the White Company is they do candles, and they're quite expensive candles. So I thought, oh, you know what? I'll take a chance on this. I think it was 7 or 8 quid, you'll see now. This is one of my favourite brands to pick up. It's Fat Face. Everything Fat Face seems to sell for me, men's or women's, and that was a cardigan. I don't think it's actually called a cardigan because it doesn't have any buttons, but it looks like a cardigan without buttons. And this was a white stuff jumper. Now, white stuff does well for me, but I have to make sure it's in a bigger size. This was a size 16, so that was perfect for me. White stuff for me doesn't tend to sell if it's 12 or under, size 12 or under. So 14, 16, 18 is the sweet spot, I think. You'll notice there that I always start in the middle of the rail, and that's because I automatically discard anything that is size small in men's, just because I know the sell-through rate's going to be absolutely pants. This was a nice little Orvis shirt. Decided to pick that one up. I like Orvis as a brand. it's a bit hit and miss, but I thought the pattern would carry this one. And again, this is an All Saints shirt, but I wasn't sure about it because it's just a plain checkered shirt, and then I noticed that it was pearl snap. So again, something different. If you're just picking up a generic checkered shirt, I thought that the sell-through rate would have been pretty poor on it, but because of the pearl snap, and the brand is a really good brand, so I thought, you know what, I'll give that a go. Banana Republic as well. Never really picked up Banana Republic. Don't know anything about it. I believe it's an American brand. I hear people in America pick it up quite often, or used to pick it up quite often. Never really seen it in the UK, so I thought I'd give that a go. These were a pair of All Saints jeans. I was tempted, but they are really skinny, and skinny jeans are not really in fashion at the minute, so decided to leave them behind just because of the style.
Develop skills, build friendships, and make a difference by becoming a volunteer. By donating your time, you can to raise vital funds so we can continue providing vital care in our community. Ask a member of our team for more information about volunteering.
Ria? Yeah. Hi. Sorry, I can't just sit for you. Takes me a while to get back up. There we go. Oh, you had a nice time.
Those two shirts that I picked up were both All Saints. Again, one of them was a snap button. Both in a size medium, I believe they were. And they were both Ringsby priced, so it was a bit of a no-brainer. Again, they're only going to go for between £20 and £25, I would have thought. Off to the next one, which was a cancer research. This one's really hit and miss. Some days I can walk in here and pick up 10 items, and then some days absolutely nothing. Today was one of those days where there was not a lot on offer. Very much a Primark, supermarket branded shirts, etc. today. And as usual, overpriced Superdry shirts in the shop. That was a manta ray shirt. I only pick manta ray up if it's in a big size, so size large, extra large, 2XL. They seem to sell really well for me, the manta ray shirts in the larger size. I've got a couple of mediums on my shop that haven't sold at all. No one's really looking at them, so I decided to leave that one. This one was the only interesting piece that I've found in this store. It's a St. Michael's Marks and Spencer's jumper, but it was 100% cotton. If it had been more wool or a blend, then I might have picked it up because of the pattern. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up we have a headway. The men's section is really small in this one. I'm actually cramped in, so the camera angle on this one is really poor, but it won't last very long.
Oh, God! Oh, yeah, been right. She gets to nursery now.
Yeah, Tuesday to Thursday.
Yeah, that's good.
Did you see Mr. Stone?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
I did. I did.
No.
For his home. Is he there? Yeah, he's still there.
He's lurking,
Well, he only wants his org.
yeah.
He'll lurk until he's had his org.
Oh no, just get something small. Oh no, I'm getting that done. Not so much Lego.
Well, that didn't end up being too bad actually. The bad thing about Ashby is I can't get signal anywhere in this town. So the things you've seen me pick up will be very much on a I think they're worth picking up and I think I'm going to be able to make some money on them. But I did go to more charity shops than I filmed, but the last 3 or 4 charity shops are tiny, like they're the size of a living room, and they are very much geared up to get kids in, so they're very much toy focused with a little bit of clothing in it. So I really want to be filming when there's a load of kids running around anyway. So I'll show you a few bits that I did pick up from the last places. I picked up some video games. I probably shouldn't have. Don't know enough about video games. I don't particularly play video games or anything like that. So the first one I picked up was Formula 1 2001 on the PlayStation 2. It has got its manual. Again, I couldn't do any research in the shop. I thought, well, it's a game I don't see very often. You know, I don't really see it in charity shops. I don't see it in the field. I'll take a punt on it. All these video games were £1, so £1. And somebody's actually achieved £11 for that game, so quite happy with that one. There are a few that have gone for £7, but again, for a video game, I think that's a pretty decent return. I did pick up some other video games. I picked up a Call of Duty bundle. Again, all these were £1, so I paid £4 for these. We have, let me spin them around the right way, Call of Duty 3, Call of Duty Modern Warfare, Call of Duty 4 and Call of Duty World at War. So I'm going to put these into a bundle and see how we do. So I spent £4 on it. I'm hoping to get back 15 maybe. I don't think I've got the one. I think Black Ops is the one that holds the more value, but I've seen bundles of the same 4 sell for between 12 and 15, so I'm going to go for that. I picked up a brand new and sealed Frustration game for £5. Again, the old Frustration I pick up every single time because I know I can get £20 to £25 depending on the condition of the board and the box used. So I thought I'd pick up the new one, and not knowing anything about it, I wouldn't pick it up pre-owned, just knowing that the old game had some value. And this one seems to have a price range of about 12 to 15, so 5 into 12 or 15 shouldn't be too bad. And then in the last shop, which is the smallest charity shop in Ashby, it's basically a corridor, I actually picked up 3 of the same item, and they are 3 pairs of shorts by Rohan, and they are all size 34 waist. 3 completely identical Rohan shorts. 1, 2, 3, and yeah, they were £3 each. So here you go, £3 each. They should do quite well on that. I'd have thought they'd be worth 15 quid. Rohan stuff seems to do pretty well, to be fair. I'm going to see if I can crack on to the next town now and see if I can pick up anything from there. Let's see how we get on. So the next town is Coleville, and if you were to ask me where I got the best deals from, this would not be on my top 10. The reason why I like going to the Coleville charity shops is because most of them do bulk pricing. So what I mean by that is a t-shirt will be £2 no matter what the t-shirt is. So you could be looking at a Primark t-shirt that's £2, or you could be looking at a Fred Perry t-shirt that's also £2. Now, they do have British Heart Foundation who have their own strange strategy for pricing items, but for the most part, a lot of the shops in Coleville do a bulk pricing strategy, which means sometimes I'm able to get some really, really good bargains. But it also means that sometimes you walk away with nothing. Also, this charity shop is a mixture of furniture and electricals and clothing. They don't specifically just do one thing. They do a lot of furniture, so don't always expect too much from this particular charity shop. This was an interesting t-shirt. It was a Rugby Six Nations t-shirt. Decided not to pick it up, even though I do quite well on rugby shirts. But this one just didn't have enough going for it. Again, the Old Guys Rule t-shirts, there's a couple of them in this rail. Brand new, they're quite expensive, but from a resale market, there isn't really a vast amount of value in the resale of these t-shirts. So again, decided to leave them. This jacket was a Hobbs of London jacket. However, it was really badly stained and it just looked like it had been unloved for quite some time. It was just too far gone for me to pick up. Even at £2, I think it was. the other thing to bear in mind is, as I'm in Coleville now, it is in the afternoon, so the chances are somebody's already been through, or many people have already been through these shops, and they could have been picked dry at this point because I chose to go to Ashby in the morning and Coleville in the afternoon. So we're now in British Heart Foundation, which I think is everyone's least favourite charity shop from a reseller point of view.
That's £4. Can't believe that's brand new.
This one was really unfortunate. It's a older Nike track jacket. They had it up for £15, which was just a little bit too expensive for me anyway. And then I noticed a big, horrible yellow stain on the sleeve. So it really cemented that I wasn't going to be picking that up.
I know that feeling. Oh, God, look at that.
The next one is a PDSA, which is more like a boutique nowadays in Coleville, and the prices usually match the style and the aesthetics that are in the shop. However, I think I picked a few bits up there. So there was a fat face shirt that I picked up. This Ralph Lauren shirt was interesting, but not interesting enough to make me pull the trigger. The Tommy Hilfiger shirt was really promising, but it was priced just a little bit too high for me. And then this shirt is a vintage animal skateboarding shirt. Good colour, good brand, good price.
Gdybym miał koszulę z długim rękawem. Wiem, widziałam. Widziałam.
Muszę tobie coś pokazać.
Widziałam. Trzymać ci je, czy nie? Nie. Widziałam słońce, ale... No chyba tylko w tamtym było jakieś spodnie do wyboru.
It was a bit of an All Saints kind of day, in all fairness. This is an All Saints jumper or long sleeve t-shirt type jumper. It was £10, yes, but it was 100% merino wool. So I decided to give that one a go because that one should be able to tip the £25 mark, I would have thought. These are a nice brand. They're a brand called Maya, and I only ever really see trousers, so I don't know if they only do trousers. But every time I pick Maya up, they seem to sell really well, hold a good value. Right guys, I've just done the editing for that video, which is a week later, and I've completely forgot to do any kind of outro. So I thought I'd do one now and say thank you very much for watching the video. I really appreciate everybody that subscribes and watches and likes, and I'll see you on Monday for a what's sold over the weekend video. See you later. Bye.